everyone, and welcome to Bluebeam's Impact Series. My name is Tracy Schuster, and I'm the Experiential Marketing Manager here at Bluebeam. Before we get started, I wanted to point out some of the features in the console you see before you. At the bottom of the screen, you'll notice a menu bar, which will allow you to select and minimize the widgets you see in front of you. Feel free to customize your experience throughout the event. You can access the Q&A box and submit your questions during the presentation. We'll also be holding a 15-minute Q&A at the end of the presentation, so hopefully we'll get to yours. You can find out more about the speakers in the speaker widget, and there's several helpful resources included in the resource widget, especially our new upcoming virtual events. Today's event will also be available on demand. You'll receive a link via email following the event. We're so excited that you're here, and we're really looking forward to engaging with all of you throughout the presentation. So let's get started.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Pablo Giraldo. I'm an assistant tech manager at the Walsh Group. The Walsh Group is Walsh Construction and Archer Western. And today I will be going over my workflow of digital document management from the office to the field. So I have an agenda here on the second slide that I'm going to quickly cover. And then we're going to jump into the workflows. So the first thing that I will go over is how to create a Bluebeam set. Reading Bluebeam's definition, a set allows users to open a collection of documents in a single view with the pages organized in a specific order, including any revisions and addenda. Once we get into the workflow, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. The next thing that I'll be going over is how to batch link a set. Then we're going to jump into hyperlink and shop drawings and work plans. Then we're going to go over publishing the set so everyone in the office or in the field can have access to the latest set of drawings. Then we're going to jump into something a little different, is how to create a Bluebeam dashboard. A Bluebeam dashboard is the first thing that I open up every morning when I get to the job site, and it allows me to navigate through different folders and subfolders that I use on a daily basis. Then we're going to go back to Bluebeam Studio and cover how to create different studio groups to give access to, for example, subs, and then to give access to your company employees. You can give different rights to different people. If you don't want subs to see certain folders, you can deny rights to those subs. But if you want your employees to have access to those folders and see different documents, you can do that as well in studio groups. Then we're going to jump into the Bluebeam's iPad app, and we'll see how to navigate through that. And then we'll track work in place using statuses on the iPad app. And then we're going to bring that back to the office and then be able to export it out and then use it on a spreadsheet or kind of use your tracking software that you use on a daily basis or that your company uses. So let's get into it. How to create a Bluebeam set. So I'm going to get out of here, and then I already created this folder on my desktop where I have all my information. So let's say this PDF here is the first set of contract documents that you get from the owner. It doesn't have any page labels. It doesn't have anything. So to be able to create a set, the first thing that I normally do is I create my page labels. So I go to Document, Create Page Labels, and I normally start on the second page because the first page is normally the cover page, so it doesn't really have the sheet numbers. So I go to Document, Create Page Labels, I go to Select Page Region, Select, I'm going to draw a box around the drawing number. Then you can see here the preview on the bottom. Sometimes a few of the drawings might come in looking a little funky. So hopefully not all of them are going to come in like that. I'm just going to click OK. Select page range. We're going to say all of them. Now Bluebeam is creating the page labels. The page labels, you're going to be able to see them here on the left. And then each drawing will have each specific page label or the drawing number. So here on the left, we see that all the page labels are created. I'm going to quickly thumb through the page labels. Again, we saw that this one did not come in correctly, so I'm just going to do it all manually. And then the cover page, I'm going to do it manually as well. And that, for the most part, that should be it. 00-001. I'm going to go through and kind of quickly look at them, make sure they came in correctly. I'm looking at this number here, the drawing number. It looks like they all did. So I'm going to save it. My next step is I'm going to extract all the pages, and then I'm going to extract them as separate files. Select all the pages, click OK. And then I'm going to save them in the same folder that I created already, document management folder, and then I'm going to save them here. The next step that I'm going to do is I am going to grab all the architectural drawings, and then I'm going to drop them in the architectural folder. I'm going to grab all the civil drawings and then drop them in the civil folder. I'm going to grab all the process drawings and then drop them in the process folder. And then I'm gonna do the same process for all the drawings. So now that I have all my drawings into each corresponding folder, the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Bluebeam. I'm gonna go to Bluebeam Studio, and I wanna create a new project because I wanna save my set and everything, all my documents, into a Bluebeam project. So this is gonna be called Document Management. Bluebeam. I'm gonna click OK. Then I'm going to create 3 folders. One is going to be called 01, Original Drawings. The second one is going to be called 02, Combined Files. And then the next one is going to be called Revisions. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Original Drawings folder, and then I'm going to go to my folders. I'm going to grab them all, and then I'm going to drag and drop into this Original Files folder. We're going to wait a few seconds until everything finishes uploading, and then we'll keep going. So this right here on the right, this is your sets icon. If you don't have it, you can right click, hit show, and then turn on your sets icon, or the shortcut will be Alt 2. So since I already have it, I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna create a new set. I'm gonna add folders. I already have a template created. I'm not gonna go too deep into that. This can be a topic for another day, but I have my template selected. I'm going to click OK. I had already created that template specifically for this project. And now I am going to go to my studio and grab all the files from there. So I normally like to select all my drawings by folder. I think it comes in neatly and I can keep up with all the drawings. They came in. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to skip it says select the page region that contains the sheet name. I'm going to skip the cover page because again, the drawing on the cover page normally comes in a little funky. So I'm going to grab this, draw a box around the drawing number. Actually, I'm going to reselect it because it says select the sheet name. The sheet name is general. The preview is general. I like how it came in. Now it's creating the tags for the sheet names. I'm going to skip the cover page because now we're going to select the create the sheet number, draw a box around the sheet number. Now this tags window will come up. And normally what I do is I go through and check that to make sure that everything came in how I like it. Remember the first sheet we did not give it a name, so I'm gonna give it here. General, and the sheet number is G-00-001. I'm gonna click OK. And this is gonna be the exact same process to bring in all the different folders that contains all the drawings. So now all the drawings came in. If you see here, these are all single page PDFs. I'm gonna bring in more drawings. So I'm gonna click sets, open set, or you can also click here and say modified set. I'm gonna add the second folder, which contains the civil drawings. Select folder, and it's exactly the same workflow, exactly the same steps that we did on the first trial. So now that all the drawings came in correctly, we're gonna add a revision. So we're gonna go back to modified set, select a folder, go to my revisions folder, Rev 1, I already have 2 PDFs in there. Select them, click OK. And as you see, they came in right up here. It's going to be revision 1 and then revision 1. Click OK. And then this window is going to come up where it says select OK to copy markups from the current page to the revised page and stamp the current page as superseded. So Bluebeam automatically detected 2 of the exact same pages. You're going to click OK. And now we're going to go look for C, the civil section, Rep 00 Rep 1. If I click on this arrow, you can see that the previous page got labeled as superseded. And then 006, if I click on this arrow, you can see that the previous page got superseded. You can look at it like this, or you can look at it this way as well. So now the next step in the workflow is going to be batch linking the set. So we're going to go to batch link current set. We're going to hit generate. So now that all the links are generated, I click on run and it actually creates all the hyperlinks. Then I click on finish and close. So now if I go through my drawings and for example I click on this one, I click on the hyperlink section, it'll immediately take me to the hyperlink page. And if I go to this one and click here, it'll open up the drawing number is C00005. So that's how you batch link a set. The next thing that I want to show is, for example, if I go to my process drawings and I want to hyperlink any of the shop drawings that I have, I can check this out and then just create a simple markup. I'm going to call it shop drawings for this section. I'm going to right click, I'm going to hit edit action, and then I want to open the file that I have here in the original drawings, which is the shop drawing. Click OK. I'm going to say hit relative paths, and then now the hyperlink is created. If I go and flatten this hyperlink, when you hover over the shop drawings, you click on it, it will open up the shop drawings for that section. So now I'm going to close this out, check in, and then that's how you create different hyperlinks for shop drawing. To be able to navigate different sections of the drawings, and I have to scroll through 100 different pages to try to find where you need to go, or go through different folders, in and out of different folders to find where you need to go. So the next step in the agenda will be to actually publish the set and give it out to everyone on your project. So I go to sets, publish, combine. Then for now, I'm gonna save it to my desktop, and then I'm gonna paste it back into the Bluebeam Studio. So I'm gonna say combine, Bluebeam set. And then I'm gonna drop it in here. Now the next thing in the agenda is gonna be to create a project dashboard. I'm gonna save the project dashboard in the same studio project that we've been working on, because all this is gonna translate into the iPad once we're using the studio project in the field on the iPad. So I created a new folder called project dashboard. And so I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna open up my dashboard. I already created this template. The background, all the pictures and everything else, I kind of did that already. I want to skip that section just because it'll take a little bit of time. But you can easily create this either in Bluebeam or in Microsoft PowerPoint or in Word. It doesn't really matter. As long as it is a PDF, that'll work. I'm gonna go here to forms. This is how I like to create my dashboard, by using buttons. I'm gonna click on the button tab, and I'm just gonna create a button. It's gonna create this up here. I'm gonna call this drawings. Then I'm gonna go here and make it look nice. You can make it look however you want to. And then I'm gonna create another one, or I can just copy, paste, and then I'm gonna call this one walshgroup.com. I'm gonna go back to the drawings one, and then I'm gonna go down here where it says label. This is where you actually change the label on the PDF. So I'm gonna call it drawings, and then I'm gonna go to the other one, and then I'm gonna call this walshgroup.com. So this is one way of creating a dashboard by using the buttons tab, or you can also create it using just a simple text, right? I'm gonna do the same example, drawings. And both ways will function either by creating a button or by using a simple text markup. Both will work the exact same way. So now I'm going to go to the drawings, and I'm going to start linking together, hyperlinking where my drawings live. So once I click on this button, it'll open up, it'll immediately take me to the drawings, to the project drawings. So I click on the drawings button over here. Then I'm going to scroll down to the add action section. Now, every time I click on the drawings button, I want it to open up, I can say either a folder or a file. In this case, I want it to open up a folder. I'm going to click on the studio project that I've been working on. I'm going to go to the combine files, and I'm going to select that folder. Click OK. And then I'm gonna do the exact same way for the drawings. Now, when it's for the drawings markup, when it's a markup, you have to right click on it and then click on edit action. And then the same deal, click open. Once I click on that, I want it to open up a folder. And then I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna do the other one, which is the company website. So I'm gonna go here to the right, down, add action. And now for this one, it's gonna be a hyperlink. So I'm gonna go to the company website, control copy. On the company website up here, I'm gonna go back to Bluebeam. On the hyperlink section, I'm gonna say paste, click OK. And I'm going to X out of here. So now you will see that once I click on the drawings button, the combined files folder is going to open up. And this is the PDF that we exported or that we published from the Bluebeam set. So if I click on it, it'll open up. Or if I go to the markup that I created, I'm going to flatten this markup. And if I click on it, the same combined PDF will open up. Same with the company website. If I click on it, the company website will open up. So there are different ways. I want to go back to the edit action section. And then I just want to highlight that you can either have it jump to another PDF that's open or another PDF. You can have it jump to a place, a space, a snapshot view, a hyperlink, or a folder, or a folder or a file. Let's change this, and once I open it, let's say I want to open a file. Instead of opening up a folder, I wanted to open up a file. So once I click on that, I wanted to open up the set of drawings. Click OK. And to make this go away, right here on the bottom right, again, go back to flatten the markup, and then I'm going to click on it, and then the combined Bluebeam set of drawings that we've been working on is going to open up, as opposed to the folder. So I'm going to go back, check in, and then I'm just going to open up the actual dashboard that I use on my project. And this is how you can make it look. I have different project folders that I use on a daily basis, so on and so forth. Now, after creating a project dashboard, I'm going to go and create a studio group. I'm creating a studio group because all this ties together at the end. So what we're going to do is I'm going to close this out, and working in the same studio project where I've been working on, I'm going to go to the project settings, click on this tab here. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to permissions. I'm going to create a group. I'm going to call this one test. And then here you're going to start adding all your members. So John Doe at walshgroup.com, so on and so forth. I'm going to jump into one that I had already created, the subcontractor one, and then I use my personal email as the example. And then I have another group called Archer Western and Big Creek. This is the project that I'm currently on, and then I have a few people here in the group. So I'm not going to create them again. I'm just going to click OK. Just wanted to show you guys how to create them. And then I'm going to go back to user access, and then I'm going to add the groups that I just created. So I'm going to choose the subcontractor one. I want him to be in my project. And then I'm going to add the Big Creek one. I want these people to be in my project as well. So now we're going to go back to permissions, and then we're going to go to folder permissions, and then we're going to add the subcontractor one. Click OK. And then I want to add the Big Creek, Archer Western Big Creek one. In the subcontractor one, I want him, if I click on this arrow, is going to give me these folders that I have. They are the same folders here in my project, in my studio project. So I want him to have read-only rights, but only to the combined files. So I'm going to say read, and then all these other folders, I want them to be hidden. I don't want the sub to see the other folders. And then for the Archer West and Big Creek, I want them to have read and write rights only. So to the original files, revisions, and everything else. I'm going to click apply, and then I'm going to click OK. Now that I did that, this is where we're going to jump into the iPad app, and then we're going to look at everything that we just did on the iPad. So now we're going to go into the Bluebeam iPad app. I'm going to log in as the sub. I'm going to click login. And now if I click on the projects I've been invited to, I'm going to open up this a little bit more. And then this document management Bluebeam, this is a project that we've been working on this entire time. So right now, if I click on it, you can see that I only have access, since I'm the sub, I only have access to the combined files folder. I don't have access to the original documents, the revisions, or the project dashboard. So if I click on the combined files, I can see this combined Bluebeam set that we've been working with this entire time. If I click on it, I'll be able to look at the drawings that the project admin gave me access to. So I can quickly scroll through and then look at all the drawings. Now I'm going to log out. So now I'm going to log in as a team member. So let's say I'm an engineer or a superintendent and I'm out in the field and I want to use the dashboard and I also want to look at drawings and then also click on the hyperlinks and then be able to go through different sections of the drawings without having to scroll through 100 different pages. So right here on the left, I'm going to click on the document management project, the one we've been working on this entire time. And now you can see all the different folders. Now as a sub, I was only able to see the combined files folder. Now if I'm part of the team and I'm given rights to all the different folders, then I'm able to see them here. So for now, I'm going to click on the dashboard, which this is what I'm going to use to navigate through the drawings. I'm going to click on the drawings tab. It's going to open up the folder with the combined Bluebeam set, the one we exported out of the set that we batch linked and added hyperlinks to the shop drawings as well. So I'm going to scroll through and you can see that I'm able to see the revisions and then the new set of drawings, the latest and greatest. Now you can see the previous revision and then you can see the latest drawing, updated drawing. Now again, if I go through here and I'm going to click on this hyperlink section, this drawing D42-103, if I click on it, it's going to take me to that one page, as we can see down here at the bottom right. And remember that we also hyperlink the shop drawings to this in the Bluebeam set, to the set of drawings before we published it. So if I click on the shop drawings, it's going to open up the shop drawings for that section. So this is an easy way for the superintendents or the engineers out in the field to navigate through your set of documents, to your set of drawings without having to scroll through 100 different pages. And then the last thing in the agenda will be to show you guys how I track the work in place using statuses. So what I'm going to do is I created a project tracking folder 05 in the same studio project that we've been working on. So I'm going to click on that and then I added this PDF in there. And then I will show how I create my different markups that I can assign a different status as order, delivered, or installed. So the first thing I do is I'm going to go to my profile. I have a cut walls profile already created. This profile has different markups that I already saved in here that I normally use to do this. So I'm going to click on my cut walls markup. This is the precast panel. So these are all precast panels that get delivered to the job site for a facial wall. So I'm only going to do this for a few since the steps are always the same. The first thing that I do is before we start any work on this activity, I get the plans and then I do a takeoff as you are seeing here. So I'm just going to do it for these 3 columns, all the different panels that are going to be ordered and delivered to the job site so the crews can install them. So once I do my markups before we start activities on this scope of work, then I go into select the markup, then I go down here to my status section, and I'm going to add a new status. So I go down to manage status. I'm going to add a new status for the precast panels. Click OK. Then I'm going to add different states to it. So the first one is going to be default. If nothing has happened to it, it's going to be, if we haven't done anything with that panel, we haven't ordered anything, it hasn't been delivered, that means it's gonna be white. The next one, if it has been ordered, it's gonna turn blue. If it's been delivered, it's gonna turn orange. And if it's been installed, it's gonna turn green. Click OK. Now I want the default to be default. So that means nothing has happened to it. So I'm gonna click OK. So now after I create the different statuses for them, the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab them all and then I'm gonna turn them white since they're all default. We haven't done anything with them. So after reaching out to the vendor that's providing the precast panels, I'm gonna say, let's say we order all these 3 panels, these 3 bottom panels. I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna set a status, precast panels as order. And now the panels are gonna turn blue, right? So the next thing that I do is, for example, if I'm the engineer in charge of the scope of work and I'm going now to the field, the panels are arriving on site, I'm gonna go back to my iPad and then I'll show you guys how I do it on the iPad and track all the materials delivered on site and also the materials installed on the iPad. So now that we set up the PDF before we came out to the field and the panels have been ordered, I'm gonna go back to my O5 project tracking folder, click on the PDF that we set up, and I'm gonna scroll into the panels that were ordered. I'm gonna click on this panel. The first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check out the PDF. And let's say materials started arriving on site, and then I want to set a status as the panel has been delivered. So if I click on it, you can see that down here in the status section, it says order set by, that's my name, my initial and 2 last names. I can double click in here and say that the panel has been delivered. And then I can take a picture of the panel and attach it to that markup. For now, I'm going to take a picture of the of my screen since we're not out in the field. Use photo, and then that photo is attached to the markup. And same deal if, let's say, the panel, I go back to my status column. Let's say the panel has been installed. I can click on it and then it'll turn green. So again, we use the status option in Bluebeam to mark the panel as order. Then it turned into orange. We mark the panel as delivered. And then we took a picture of the panel and then we change the status to installed. And then the panel turned green. So this is an easy way to track the activities, what's going on your project, and know that assigning different colors to the work in place means whether order delivered or installed. And you can do this for any other type of any other scope of work on your project. Right now, in this case, it was a precast fascia panels. So now that we went out to the field, we took photos of the panels that were delivered and the panels that were installed on site. Then we can go back to the office and go back to the Bluebeam project that we've been working on, and then go into the project tracking folder, open up the PDF, and you will see that the panel turned blue when it was ordered. We change the status to delivered. That means the panel turned orange. And then we change the status when the panel was installed. That means the panel turned green. And then here we can click on the photo option, and then it'll bring up the panel, the picture that we took in the field. So I hope you guys found this workflow useful. Hopefully some of you guys can apply it at your job site. This is something to keep in mind when trying to keep all your documents digital. And sometimes you don't have a place to store them. So a good place will be storing everything on your studio project. That way you'll be able to access everything on your desktop or on your iPad. So again, hopefully this was useful. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and also try to type in the questions below. If we don't get those answered right away, then we'll try to get back to you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is my workflow of digital document management from the office to the field.